Welcome back to another season of Weird Waves. Like everyone else on this planet, 2020 hit us like a ton of bricks, and our plans for the year changed. With our focus now set a little closer to home, I had no idea how many of my favorite types of waves and people were right down the street. In this first episode, we're shifting our clocks around to feature a few different approaches to surfing once the street lights turn on. From bioluminescence to blue moons to sci-fi lighting devices. Who are these Nightriders sneaking around in the cloak of the night?
Whoa!
And more importantly, why?
The kelp keeps grabbing me.
That was such a beautiful wave.
This story begins with the grossest water I've ever seen.
This particular algal bloom, spanning from Los Angeles to Baja, is huge.
After 2 months of waiting, my first surf back was in easily the most intense case of red tide I've ever seen. But what exactly is red tide?
So the reason the water is so red right now is because there's just millions of this one type of little phytoplankton out there.
Is that what's going on here with what is known as red tide? This is an algae bloom?
The ocean is usually like whatever, blue to clear, now it's super red, and you would think there's just a bunch of stuff in the water. It turns out there's not any more stuff in the water than there usually is. It's just one of the organisms in the water became a little bit more abundant, and that one happens to be brownish red instead of clear. And there's like this super complicated cycle that where all these little plankton dudes are battling out with each other, like eating each other and like feeding off each other's dead bodies and all this stuff, and like it's just this full like wicked little community. And something happens where like the balance of that community goes out of whack and one species is able to just like dominate. It so happens that this little dude is red, and so it makes the water red. But at night, that same little dude that is red has a little chemical inside their body, and when they get like kind of shaken by the waves or the wind blows across the water, it just turns into like this kaleidoscope acid dream test. It's just like all of a sudden everything's popping. And they're making the light right now, we just can't see it because it's so bright out here. But at night, just like curtains come down and we can see all the light they're making.
I've gotten to see bioluminescence before, and of course I've seen footage on Planet Earth style shows, but I've never gotten a chance to surf in it. And although algae blooms are common in Southern California, the size and intensity of this particular algae bloom was more significant than anything I'd ever seen. So I called a few buddies to come partake.
Oh, yes.
Wow. Holy cow. Whoa. Are we on? We might be on. Everybody ride.
I was underwater just spinning and just glowing in like some light orb. It was the weirdest. It was more fun wiping out. This is like the most unique surfing experience I've ever kind of really had. It's weird. It's all dark except for it's glowing, which is basically opposite to everything that you've ever done surfing.
Whoa! That was insane!
Like when you run your hands through the water, it just looks electric, it looks fake, it just doesn't even feel real almost. It's cool.
Yeah, from here, like it looks like you see the waves break and that all glows, but out there, every little subtle movement glows.
Yeah.
So it's like sensory overload, and you're like,
It is. You reach down and you see these bubbles coming off your hand. And I heard somebody say it looks like a galaxy, and I think that's a good way to explain it.
Go, Jason.
my god.
Oh, combo.
Hammered that thing.
That was out of control. Like the most otherworldly surf I've ever had. All right, so that's a wrap of the other Blue World. Thanks for coming down, boys. That was so insane.
Yeah, thanks for inviting us.
After getting all hopped up on biolumens, we started talking more about night surfing. Most common is the good old-fashioned full moon surf. So we looked at a calendar and saw that on Halloween night, there was a blue moon. So we figured there's got to be fellow Nightriders paddling out then, right? Yeah, we're just wondering if anybody's out surfing on a full moon on Halloween. Only one way to find out.
Are you the weird waves guy?
Yeah, we're
Oh my
doing
god,
the weird way.
Yeah, I was like, that guy looks familiar. And I'm like, are you paddling out right now?
I don't know. We're seeing
If you guys paddle out right now, shit, fuck my night plans. I'll paddle out with you.
If you paddle out, we'll paddle out. I'm looking for a surf buddy. We just came down to whatever, see if anyone was paddling out. So the idea here was to join a group of Nightriders in their natural habitat, but the reality ended up being me twisting random strangers' arms into paddling out. Are you trunking it?
Yeah, I'm chugging it.
Holy shit!
Today in Weird Waves, we're gonna go find fucking sharks and surf fucking at night.
I hope not. I hope we don't. I hope we don't find sharks.
It's so shallow, we're just gonna shred.
It's about that time. 'Tis the season.
Okay, so Preston from earlier is this guy, but he's also got a twin brother, Trevor, this guy. And the dude in the Joe Dirt wig is Armin. Basically, I couldn't have stumbled across a more classic, frothed up crew for this full moon experience. And yeah, the waves weren't much to talk about, but we didn't care. Because the last time a blue moon coincided with Halloween night was 1944. Certainly something worth howling for, no matter what the ocean handed us.
Hey, you could actually like see kind of. Party!
Was party waving with the boys. Another buddy decided to jump out there but didn't have a board. I loaned him mine, and he's out there shredding. That was Winston?
Yeah, in undies.
Winston's in his undies?
Yeah, he's in his tiny whitey right now.
That's too good.
This is the waves out there.
When I saw you come out in your underwear, I knew that you needed the board more than me.
I don't know why I got my board like this.
I was just about to comment that it's very like Eddie I cow.
Yeah. It's like 1 foot. I was like, guys, I swear it's big out there. You couldn't even see it.
So, moving on. Relying on the moon for light leaves you a couple nights a month where, just like that last scene, swell might not cooperate. So what if it's actually good and there's no moon?
You want to go up or down? You're going to go up, all right.
When he first started messing around with the skateboard, he got mad at me from like stopping him from bombing the hill.
No way.
Like he'd start going and just like head first.
This is Nick Sign, surveyor and full-time dad. Something I was getting used to myself after having my first kid back in August.
Eddie, I went so fast. so fast.
And with so much time spent during the day with work and kids, he's starting to crack the code for logging a little extra surf time once all his daytime duties come to an end.
So this is my night surfing setup. It's a big battery pack and a lamp. And then you have these vests, basically the battery pack slides into. There's cooling lines and the power cord, and this just snaps onto your helmet. And like that, you're ready to go. It's a way to get in the water when you've got little kids and you're tied down during the day. There's normally less wind at night. There's certainly less people.
And the kids are asleep.
And the kids are asleep. So it's like the kids go to bed, and then I'm kind of getting a short list of people who are, I guess, not scared really is what it comes down to.
Yeah, and is that sort of the main thing, you know?
Yeah, I think it all comes down to sharks.
Sharks.
You know?
I didn't want to say that.
Yeah, no, you get scary thoughts in your head sometimes, but, you know.
Yeah, I was thinking about that. They're definitely in my head.
Yeah, and like your friend gets a wave and you're out there by yourself all of a sudden, and like
Yeah.
it's a little different. But got a safety whistle. Hey, do you want to go see Mom for a second?
After figuring out all the bells and whistles of Nick's night surfing apparatus and making sure everything fit, well, close enough, all we had to do was wait for the sun to go down and the crowds to clear out, and it was time to hit the lights. Well, this was going to be a lot harder than I thought. Even though the lights lit up what was right in front of you, everything else was dark. And there was something else that took some getting used to.
The kelp keeps growling there. Oh, how'd you go with the kelp? What's that? Oh, to not get the kelp? Yeah. Well, it's worse, kelp or rocks.
All right. That was so fun. I don't even know where I was in the lineup. It's hard to tell, but that was such a beautiful wave. I don't know, once you're up on the waves, it was like, you'll see everything.
Yeah, you're good then.
It was fully sick.
A little harder to spot the seaweed and the kelp balls.
Yeah.
But aside from that, you know.
Yeah, the kelp dodging was like real.
Especially at the beginning.
Yeah, those first couple waves. Super hyped.
Glad you liked it so much. We'll get some more sometime.
So am I ready to give up day surfing? Well, no. But night surfing offers a pretty cool perspective and helps me appreciate things I take for granted on my daily surfs. And I kind of think this is exactly what I needed coming out of lockdown. With so much uncertainty in the world, it was nice to feel the support of billions of phytoplankton, new friends, and new ways to approach my favorite pastime. I'll leave it there. See you next episode.